Here's my number one strategy for how to put work away when it's time to go home and enjoy life. One of the most joyous days of my life was the day I learned to stop taking work home with me. This was about 20 years ago. My kids were little. I still carried a briefcase and barely used email at all. My workload was heavy and I was skating on the edge of burnout. With even greater blending of work and home today, we all need this skill. We all need the ability to leave work at the office, even when our office is in our home. There are two steps to this skill. Number one, develop a personal parking lot for stuff to deal with later. At first, my parking lot was a pile of paper on my desk that I would organize at the end of every day and put it somewhere I had to deal with it in the morning, usually on my chair. And the act of organizing it let me set myself up for success the next day, so I didn't have to worry in the evening that I wouldn't remember what to do in the morning or where to start or what was important. Now I pile stuff on my virtual desk right here. I send myself an email. I calendar things in my schedule so I know when to deal with it. I add and regularly manage my to-do list so I don't forget things. And I'm constantly prioritizing what needs attention now. The point is, I create places and spaces to put stuff that I can't deal with right now. I make myself a promise to get back to it later, and then I do. This reduces a lot of worry that I just don't know what's important to be doing right now, or that I'll forget something important tomorrow or next week. Step two is the hard part. Step two requires that once you put something on your to-do list or on your calendar to deal with later, you have to let go of it emotionally in that moment. So when I put something in my parking lot, I let go of it emotionally right then. And to help me emotionally release the worry that is associated with this thing being left undone, I have to do the following. I have to remind myself that I truly believe that worrying about things simply drains my energy and does nothing to improve my performance. I have to decide when to come back to it, what date and what time. I have to own the consequences of my decision to put this off right now, no matter what happens. I have to let the chips fall where they may, for good and bad, by delaying dealing with this thing right now. I have to promise myself that I will come back and deal with all of these parking lot items in the future when I say I will. And I have to trust myself to keep that promise. Sure, sometimes I mess up. I delay working on things that truly are more important to be doing right now. Or I keep putting things in the parking lot over and over and over and never getting to them. And I end up having to accept those poor choices when the fact that they weren't the best choices becomes apparent to me. But for the emotional freedom and reduced stress that I get in return, these are very small prices to pay. And the more I do this, the better I get at it and the fewer mistakes I make. The first time I did this 20 years ago, it felt great. But after 20 years, I have collected a lot of stress relief by using these tools every day. It saved me from burnout and it can save you too. How do you keep from taking work home? Share your tips below in comments.